It's mid-December, and Ron Spomer is heading south to Richard's Ranch in Jacksboro, Texas, where the elusive big bucks will prove the ultimate challenge on Winchester Whitetail Revolution.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, not going to try it.
Wow, here we are at Richard's Ranch near Jacksboro, Texas. Never been here before. Surprised the heck out of me. Drove down through Oklahoma and Kansas, and you got the usual high plains grasslands. We get here, we've got oak forests and mesquite thickets. Not what I was expecting, but I've snooped around a little bit. Man, this looks like whitetail country. These guys are pretty pumped up. They've got a lot of activity. They're seeing some deer, even though it's late in the rut. The weather is going to be bitter cold in the morning, according to the predictions, and there should be some deer activity there. So I'm fired up. I think this is going to be an exciting hunt.
We have a little over 15,000 acres here. A lot of it is open, tall grass prairies, mesquite, savannas, and we also have some post oak timber and lots of rolling hills.
We run a strict management program. We don't overpressure the deer. We don't overpressure an area. If we take a buck out of an area, we leave that area alone, move on to another area. But it's simple. It's shoot your does, let the young bucks walk and shoot the mature bucks. And we practice that religiously around here. Through the years, we've seen several deer in the 140s killed. We've had a couple in the 150s, and then we've recently had a deer in the 160s taken.
It really is a first-class operation.
Shannon's going to be my guide. This kid can deliver. He's a bow hunter. He goes up to Montana and hunts whitetails. This guy's a whitetail freak. He knows what's happening. He glasses and watches, and he's just the guy you want on your side because he's a heck of a scout. He's out in the woods, knows what's going on, and that's what you want in a guide, somebody who's on top of the intelligence.
You know, whitetail hunting to me, it's a big chess match. It's you against that deer. He's very unpredictable. The minute you think you have him predicted and you have him patterned, all that changes. It's just the fact of getting up every morning and not knowing what's going to happen.
And we're ready to go make trouble for the local wildlife.
Let's go make a name for ourselves.
You ready to have at it?
Born ready.
Cold morning, probably 18, 20 degrees. Hope something happens before I get freezed to death. We saw a fair number of deer, probably 16, 18, mostly those fawns, a couple of young bucks. There'd be something in the woods over there coming next. Yeah. This is getting good now. There. There's looks like a 4x4. Pretty good sized animal, but look at the neck on him. Boy, he's a big buck. It's a nice old 4x4. This was a big mature animal. Probably should have taken him, but first day, you know how that goes. You want to look for something really good.
He was just a typical 8-point, had a G3 on his left side busted off, but you know, we debated back and forth whether we wanted to kill the deer, but I knew in my mind that we could probably get Ron on a little better deer, so we elected to just go ahead and pass that buck up.
These leaves are making a lot of noise, so let's ease out of this woods and get on the road over here where we won't make any noise. We can glass that far ridge and then work our way down that way. These were going to try a little still hunting in the oaks, but just too dry and crunchy. That ground is just absolutely desiccated. So we got out of the crunchy leaves and just tiptoed down some of these roadways. I tell you what, I think our best bet, slapping this game, get up in that barn, they'll never know we're there.
We took advantage of a barn of all things. Now, I used to do this when I was a kid, when you figured out that deer accept man-made structures. It's part of their normal environment, so why not use those instead of building a tree stand or a box blind or anything else? If you've got an old farmstead there or an old junk car, for instance, take advantage of that. Move in, make it your blind, and those deer are not going to pay any attention to it. It's a great place to set up.
Oh, but look, someone left their office chairs here.
Barn's been on the ranch since the ranch was settled. The deer walk by it every single day. They're not alarmed by it. Matter of fact, they just ignore it. So we set up inside this barn, so there's a good windbreak.
And it overlooked the feed field, which of course is the big attraction at this time of year. The landscape is dried out. The oaks have pretty much been picked over. Those animals are looking for fresh green foliage, and the wheat fields and clover fields that they've planted, that's the ticket.
Oh, there he is, just going by that, just to the left of the live oak. Boy, he is just adept at keeping out of clear view, isn't he?
Yes.
Every time we think we've got him, he sticks his head behind the tree. See there? Look.
Yep, right now.
I'm seeing a lot of points like he might be a 10-pointer.
I'm thinking, yeah.
If he were all by himself, he'd be pretty easy to stalk. He looks okay, but he doesn't look like a jolly green giant or anything, does he? If I knew he were a definite taker, 150 class or better, you know.
Right.
Then I wouldn't worry about spooking anything.
Yeah,
I'd just go get him.
And that barn was really a sweet place. I just wish the weather had been a little colder and they'd come out a little earlier. It was just a little too late, got dark on us and shut it down. But we were able, even by moonlight, we were able to pick out 3 pretty good bucks in that field. Just never happened in time when you could shoot them. That's a buck, that's him. It's gotta be him. Yeah, that's a good buck. Ooh, that's him, that's gotta be him. It's not him, it's awfully close. Yeah, taking him. Down. I couldn't believe it. Man, that happened fast. Sun's not even down yet. That's got to be the deer Shannon was talking about. Say yeah! I mean, I was just about as depressed as a deer hunter can get. Last day, last evening, it's just not going to happen. We're not seeing the big buck. But then out of nowhere comes a buck like that. I mean, Shannon went out scouting this morning and found it and said, man, I think that buck's going to come right back in there. He's been working that line, lots of sign. When you find a buck that's still after the ladies, he's probably going to be out prowling a little more, sooner in the afternoon before dark and all that stuff. And that's what you need, a little bit of an edge like that. And by golly, we got it. Days and days of waiting and trying and waiting and mixing it up and nothing. And patience, man. That's the name of the game. It happened quickly. He came out of the trees, crossed that trail, did a little sniffing there on the ground, looked up. I don't know if he heard me or saw me or just happened to look that way. But when he looked at me and I saw that that was probably the buck out to his ears, good 9 point, I didn't even take a lot of time to count him. He was heavy enough, tall enough. Main beams came down far enough. That was the buck for the last day. I mean, I've got about an hour left and this thing is over and I've got my buck. Oh, that is a nice little buck. All right, through the boiler room. Oh, you are the guy. This has got to be the one he was describing, 5x4 9-pointer. That is just it. Better than average mass on him, nice brow tines. You are the very deer Shannon told me. What a guide, just like the doctor ordered. That is great. You are a super little deer in your prime, aren't you? You are going to be some mighty fine, tasty venison. Whoa, look at those hocks. You were in a rut there, dark. Oh yeah. Ooh, baby. I can't believe it, Shannon. You were right on, buddy. Sun's not even down yet, 70 degrees. This is December deer hunting. I can't believe it. You wait here. I'm going to go get Shannon.
You know, I just got sat down scouting another area. I heard Ron shoot. I had my fingers, toes, everything I could cross, hoping he got him. When I got the word he got him, I couldn't get over here quick enough.
Hey, Shannon, I got him. He's over here, man.
Heard the shot, buddy.
Yeah?
Heard the shot.
Thanks for coming, man.
Not a problem.
You got to see this deer. I bet you it's the one you said it was.
Take a look at it.
He's that 9-pointer, and he's pretty heavy. Huh?
Man.
Look at there.
Oh, yeah.
Is that him?
That's him. That is him.
Isn't that nice? That's better than I thought he was going to be.
I didn't want to take it down to the last evening of the hunt, but as luck would have it, it did. Pressure was phenomenal, but as luck would have it, we crept up around the corner, looked down at Sendero, and lo and behold, there's Ron's deer standing there. It's just a great representative of a Texas deer and a great representative of a Richard Ranch buck. The deer was 4.5 years old, in his prime, had good mass. He was a 9-point, had 5 on the right, 4 on the left. You know, the deer had 20-inch main beams.
I think what I'll take away from this hunt, despite all my years of deer hunting, is just you never stop learning. And the big lesson here was, despite the worst weather conditions for what you would consider a late season deer hunt, despite the heat and the big winds, persistence paid off. The deer knows when he's coming out, you don't. You just have to be there. By golly, by getting out in these 70-plus degree temperatures and sitting on this trail, I would have never thought a buck would have come out based on what we saw for the last 3-4 days, but there he was. That was great. What a way to end the hunt.